What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. The absolute crazy roller coaster finally concluded. So the market just closed 1 minute ago. Did close in the green, 2.77%. Very crazy morning though. So you had up, down, sideways, loop-de-loop. So I'm going to go over shorts and how they played a part in this. But 473 the low, 506 the high, and 73 million shares being traded. 61 is the average. So today was a absolute bloodbath across the board. You can kind of see from my watch list, absolutely nothing was green except NIO. So as I mentioned in my pre-market video, there was the monthly numbers that did come out, which were rather on the low end, but clearly the optimism associated to L90 far exceeded all of that. So pretty good stuff. I'm not going to waste your time and go over that again. If you are curious, definitely look at my video from earlier today. As far as data points, shorts did, by the end of the day, return 488,000 shares. 11.6% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 178.91 million shares overall are being shorted. But you can kind of see from this teal line how it goes up, down, sideways. That is shorts playing this game right here. So at the peak, shorts were increasing 8 million shares. So shorts increased 8 million to really kill the momentum here. They returned and then they doubled down again. So very interesting stuff. Second spike was only 6.8 million, but still, nonetheless, shorts were all over the place in the first half of the day. Second half, they actually were mostly returning some shares, which added some additional buying pressure. But the fact that it did close at or above $5 is a massive, massive deal. So moving on, looking at the options, 4.97 million in calls, 1.62 million in puts. 55% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. So definitely that is very abnormal because most of the market was bloodbath and a lot of the options resembled that as well. So the fact that NIO was green and you also had optimism through options, definitely good to see. From the bulls standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that, I would say, going back over to the volume, roughly around that 550 to 6 going into next week or by the end of next week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 450. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated, but where NIO did close exactly at $5, that is kind of the best case scenario how it played out. So for those of you that do not know options, if you close at a strike price or above, that is considered in the money. So best case scenario did play out because that does mean that the 58,000 at the $5 strike price is in the money, 22,000 at that 450, 7,000 at 4, 5,000 at 350. So what that does mean is market makers are going to have to cover all that. So just at the $5 strike price, that works out to be 5.8 million shares. Another 2.2 right there, roughly around 1 million or 1.5-ish. So definitely a lot of shares have to be covered, and market makers don't have a lot of volatile stocks such as NIO in their inventory. So that does mean that they will have to go to the open market to buy all of that. So I'll be continuing to watch the dark pool transactions after hours today just to see if there's any covering, but most likely it will be on Monday, giving NIO a very nice start to the week. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But right now, with it closing at that 5, well, I guess it's now 5, but it did close at 501. It is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 515 is going to be a key pivot and kind of target to watch going into next week, and then 486. Stay tuned for my video as well over the weekend where I go over some expectations, data points, and what's really going to influence NIO. But aside from that though, market was also pricing in what was posted after hours yesterday, a upgrade buy 550 price target McQuarrie from an analyst that does have a 72% success rating. So fairly good for a analyst that covers an EV. So generally, this is good stuff. It is starting to move at least in the right direction. Aside from what I did bring up in my earlier video, there wasn't really all that much else to come out. So no real articles or any other speculative things, possibly over the weekend. But essentially, if again, double check and go over my video if you are curious on what really moved NIO. And then aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart itself, it was able to close above the ALMA, showing some signs that it wants to reverse, really move higher. And keep in mind, stochastic RSI is relatively oversold, so a good piece of news such as what came out about the L90, that was enough to really push things higher. And again, just to kind of ignore the broader market's fears and even the monthly numbers. So yeah, today was a pretty epic day straight out the gate. During the pre-market, you had it top 10 most heavily traded, so a lot of big money was already getting into NIO. But I think funny enough, even I was seeing some comments from my earlier video how it's like, oh, red, green, red, green. It was a crazy morning. But again, you can kind of see from this how shorts played a very big part in the morning, first half of the trading day. So let me know your general thoughts. I just wanted to pop on, give you a quick overview of what happened, why it closing where it did was kind of the best case scenario and should make for a very nice kind of transitioning into this upcoming week. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone has a amazing weekend. And then one final thing, if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon. I put out daily buy signals, and definitely worthwhile to kind of pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.